Hi, David here from Guitaria Music Tuition and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're going to look at strumming. So what is strumming? Well, it's a sweeping motion, usually played with a guitar pick or sometimes the thumb, across multiple strings on the guitar, usually when you're playing chords. So when you strum a guitar, you can either go down or up. And it doesn't really make much difference to the sound, but when you go down, you're hitting the lower strings first. If you go up, hitting the higher strings first. So it can have a slight difference in sound, but nothing too drastic. So just some general tips on the strumming hand then. The movement of strumming is mostly from the wrist and the hand. Your arm will move naturally, but you don't want the movement to be totally from the arm. You want to keep the arm fairly steady, just sway more the wrist than the hand. You want to have the pick slightly angled, so if your pick is too straight, it will dig in to the strings. So we don't really want that. So if you just angle the pick slightly down, it will glide across the strings better. And on the way back up again, angle it the opposite way, so the pick glides up the strings. So sometimes you'll want to strum all of the strings, sometimes just 5 of the strings or 4 of the strings, depending on what chord you're playing. So you can just start by just gently touching the strings to mute them. Just practice going down and up. Try and stay relaxed. If you tense up, then the sound won't be as good. So just stay relaxed, keep the movement from the wrist, and try and catch all the strings on the way down and back up. The type of pick you use can have an influence too. So if the guitar pick you're using is too firm, it can be a bit more difficult when you're learning how to strum. So I'd probably recommend a thinner guitar pick. This one's 0.71 millimeters, but even that might be a little bit firm. So you might want to go for 0.46 of a millimeter, for example, just to begin with, so it'll glide across the strings a bit easier and it won't dig into the strings as much. As you get used to how to strum, then you can use a firmer guitar pick. Okay, so what we're going to do is learn 5 different strumming patterns that are quite common in songs. And when you strum, it's typically chords that you'll be playing. So I'm going to presume you know your chords already. So what I'm going to do for the exercise is play an E minor chord. And the reason for that is in an E minor chord, you play all 6 strings. Where some chords like A or D, you might only strum 5 or 4 of the strings. I think when you're learning how to strum, it's best to play all 6 strings just so you're not tense and too conscious on not hitting specific strings. So an E minor would be good, even an E major or even a G chord, because on those chords you typically strum all 6 strings. And then once you've got used to that, you can maybe try some of the chords where you only play 5 strings or 4 strings. Okay, so typically music has 4 beats in it. Not always, there can be differences, but for these exercises, we're going to base it on a count of 4. And in between the beats, we're going to say and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Some of the exercises we're going to go down on some of these beats or off beats. Sometimes we're going to go up. So the first exercise is very simple. So we're going to play the E minor chord. All we're going to do is strum down on beats 1, 2, 3, 4. Still going to count the ands in between. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But I'm only going to strum on the beats. So the first one will go like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So maybe try that for about 30 seconds. It's just really simple, just strumming down. You will obviously have to move your hand back up, so make sure you don't catch the strings on the way up. And you can try this at different tempos, so just start slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and so on. And then once you get more confident, you can speed that up. So just count a bit quicker. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, so the second exercise we're going to try, the second strumming pattern, we're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So we're going to go down on beat 1, up on the and, down on beat 2, up on the and, down on beat 3, up on the and, down on beat 4, and up on the and. So remember to stay relaxed for this. And this one will go something like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So again, play that for around 30 seconds or so, or till you feel comfortable. So the third exercise, we're going to strum down on beat 1, then we're going to pause on the and, we're going to pause on beat 2, and we're going to pause on the and after beat 2. Then we're going to strum down on beat 3, up on the and after beat 3, we're going to go down on beat 4, and then up on the and after beat 4. So this one will go something like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You can tap your foot if you wish to the beat. You can say it out loud, or you can count in your head. So anytime there's pauses in a strumming pattern, I'd recommend, at least to begin with, to keep your hand moving down and up, as if you were to do in strumming pattern number 2, where you just go down, up, down, up, down, up, but you're just not going to catch the strings at certain points. So for example, in this exercise number 3 that we're just doing now, it would be something like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that will help you keep rhythm, because if you were to not do that and just strum down on beat 1 and then pause, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, people can tense up, get quite regimented, and the strumming doesn't flow as much. So just keep the hand moving and it will help keep things smooth. Okay, so strumming pattern number 4 then. We're going to go down on beat 1, then we're going to pause on the and, we're going to pause on beat 2, we're going to pause on the and after beat 2, we're going to strum down on beat 3, we're going to pause on the and after beat 3, we're going to strum down on beat 4 and then go up on the and after beat 4. So this one will sound something like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So another tip is, once you finish the strumming pattern, try not to pause too long. Go straight back into the strumming pattern. So this is an example of what you would not want to do. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'll pause there between the strumming patterns, and that will stop the smoothness and the flow of the pattern. So just try and keep it going. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so the fifth strumming pattern we're going to look at, we're going to strum down on beat 1, then we're going to pause on the and after beat 1, we're going to strum down on beat 2, we're going to go up on the and after beat 2, then we're going to pause on beat 3, we're going to go up on the and after beat 3, then down on beat 4, and up on the and after beat 4. So this one will go something like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so you can try these 5 strumming patterns on any chord. As I mentioned, I chose E minor because you strum all 6 strings, so then you haven't got to worry about not catching specific strings. You can just work on the technique of the strumming. Once you've got the hang of it, try it on other chords, A minor, D minor, F and C, and then just try not to catch the string you don't want to hit, but still try and keep it smooth. So there are many more strumming patterns you can do, but just give these 5 exercises a go to start with, and just pay attention to your right hand technique if you're right-handed, so your left hand technique if you're left-handed. Just don't forget to angle the pick slightly, try not to be too rigid, try not to dig in too much. Once you've got used to these strumming patterns, you can try them with different chord changes. So I'm not going to get into that into this video, but you can just find different chord progressions and play a rhythm on each chord, and then change chord, and then play the same rhythm on a different chord, and then it will sound quite musical. So I hope you've enjoyed this strumming basics video. Let me know how you get on in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.